Hello, welcome back to another Roblox tutorial, and today I'll be telling you general tips and tricks you should be doing to organize your code in Roblox Studio. Now, generally, most people who put their main scripts put them inside of server script service, and for your local scripts, you can put it here, workspace, and replicated storage. Now, the only special one you need to know is replicated storage because both local and server side can see stuff inside here. This is basically the gateway between local side and server side. Now, how should you separate your script? Usually I would have one script handle one of all of one system. So if I'm making a battlegrounds game, I would have this one handle all status conditions and this one handle all hit registrations. Alright, inside of your script, you should know what a function does. You can make a function like this, put whatever you want inside, and if you want the code inside the function to run, you type this. And if there's arguments inside, A, B, C, then you can put in whatever you want inside of these inside the parameters, and it will send it into these variables right here. So why make functions? Well, for organization purposes, you can name the functions to see what they do. And secondly, for bigger scripts, you can use a quick key, Control-Shift-E to collapse all functions, so you can quickly scroll through a large script. And then you can press Control-E to open everything up once you've reached your desired function. So if I want to look for one particular function, I click right here, open it up, and then I look for where my mouse goes, and I'll get to that function. Now let's talk about module scripts. This is the premier way to organize your code, and you use these module scripts for two purposes. Either to store global functions that you use across your scripts, such as some sort of math problem that you don't want to write out every time. It can be a long equation, but for this, just times 2 is fine. And the second one is to store stuff from all your scripts, like a global storage system, which here, this function, whatever is passed to A, it will store inside of this table. Another added benefit of using functions and module functions is that if you were to cause an error, it will tell you all the different lines that the error originated from. So this is the exact line that it errored, and this line was activated by this line from another script, which is where the module function is called. You can change these as many times as you want. So if there are 6 functions that led to an error, it will tell you the exact lines for all 6 of those functions that led to one another. You can identify chain reactions very easily without having to scramble through your code. To show this global storage in action, I have script A put 1 to 4 and script B put A to D inside of our module script table. And I also created an extra function here that will return the table to script A because script A is calling it, and I will print it out. So when I play, the table printed out should be both numbers and letters, and the order is actually random. I tried this a bit, and sometimes the letters would come first, sometimes the numbers would come first. But as you can see, from 2 different scripts adding to the table, when script number A pulls from it, it gets the global table that they both poured into. What if you wanted server script to server script communication without the use of a module script connecting the information together? This is what the bindable event object is for. It looks like a lightning bolt similar to a remote event, if you know what that is. And how this works is the script that wants to send the information selects the object and then uses the method fire, and you can put anything inside of here. So I'll put the message inside of here. This is basically like functions. You put the function parameter in here, and all the functions that are connected to this event will fire when the event activates. So script A sends a signal to the event, and the event will fire, and all connected functions to that event will activate, as represented by this diagram I have over here. And so in script B, I have the object selected right here, dot event, which is the event object, and then I'll connect the get message function to the event. So this function will fire every time the event activates. So if I play this out, sending my signal to my bindable event, the message from my bindable event is message from script A, which is this string here appended to this string here with this as the connector. Now it's time for the second part of this video, which is the type portion. And in Studio, if you've been working in Studio for a while, you might have noticed that if you want to work with a humanoid, especially one like a player's humanoid or character, you won't get the luxury of having the script builder automatically put in humanoid root part because it doesn't know workspace.find first child 26ander. It's 26ander, which is my character's name, doesn't exist. So when I try to use my rig, it doesn't autofill in humanoid or humanoid root part. There's a way to work around this, and that's using the type keyword. So I can make my own type. I named it character, and inside of character, I can establish my own properties. And this is purely cosmetic. It does not affect the script at all. It only affects the script builder. So when I put all of this in, and now I have my type character, which is supposed to have all of these as properties. So to assign this variable to type character, I put a colon and put in character. See, the script builder already automatically fills me in. And now when I type in my rig, I can type in all the cool stuff. So if I remove humanoid here, that means that the script builder will think the type character does not have a humanoid property. So when I type in my rig, humanoid does not appear. Only the ones that I put in here do. Additionally, inside of a module script, you can put the export keyword before the type, and then the type can be shared with all scripts that have access to the module. So, for example, I required a module, and then I put in module.character, and then now I'll have access to all the things that I have defined in my module script, humanoid root part, even though my player model doesn't exist. And even if I make it nil, my rig will still have these. Now, you might have noticed that, hey, my rigs is type character. However, I assigned it nil. So what's going on? Well, this type stuff is only to help organize your code. It doesn't actually cause any errors. But if I do run the code, it will probably warn me that my rig is not of the type that it thinks of. But it is my own custom type, so it could be anything. To enforce this, you can put in your comments minus this and put in strict. What this will do is anytime that a character type is wrong, it will flag it with orange. So it will still run if you execute it. But now it will tell you wherever in your code is that if there's a mismatched type, it will warn you. This colon thing does not just apply to types that you define. It applies to all objects in Studio. So this could be a part, a model, all of the objects that exist in Studio, you can assign it to a variable that it expects this value. This also applies to functions inside of a function. So a is expected to be a string value. You can put this inside of functions. So if for some reason you pass the wrong value to a function, you can have the script editor warn you. Finally, the main use that I like using this for is if I get a module and I do multiply by 2, right here, I've assigned it in this thing that it expects an argument number or a number for an argument. So when I access it from here, it will show me that it wants a number, which is pretty useful for keeping track of arguments. Now, there are a bunch of syntax related to this stuff. So this one right here makes it so the module script or this my rig can be either a character or a model object type. This one combined is this one just combines both building and skyscraper. So if I remove this part here and only let the script builder tell me what the combined thing should have, it will give me both stories and square foot because building has square foot and skyscraper has stories. Now, type keys, this key of can only be used as a type, and what this will do is return the value of what the name of the property is. So key of skyscraper only has one, so it'll just give me I think just a table with one string called square foot inside of it. And finally, this one's kind of useless. It can be a number where you put a colon and you put a question mark, and it assumes it is a number, but it can be not a number. Now, you might have noticed that here this is getting flagged for not being the correct type. It can either be character or model, but it thinks it's an instance. That's because I haven't defined the return type here. You can forcibly define any object to a type by putting 2 colons and then the type that you want to define it as. When I put this here, it will silence this portion right here. You can also define the type of function that is being passed through. So say if I want to store this function as a variable here, I can make it function type, and this will make it expect that this function accepts 2 arguments, number, and returns a vector 2. There's actually a lot more syntax, but I didn't bother showing it because I didn't think it was as necessary to do so. You can search it up if you want. It's all on the wiki or the documentation, or you can just use ChatGPT to give you a list. And before you say anything about metatables are a thing of the past, okay? I see a lot of people using them on the server. They are completely outclassed by regular tables and all the other stuff that they've added to the script builder. And now this is the end of the video, so goodbye, thanks for watching.